This is music, and this is a journey into the grave. In this video, I'm going to show you two cool cassette tape box sets that I've had for a while, actually. They're both from Cosmic Key Creations. I've had them for a while. I've shown them before, but only now have I had the time to actually listen to them. And we're talking this one here, Grave, the classic album collection. And this one here, Theater of Tragedy, the early years, 1994 to 1998. So yeah, this one here, Grave, the classic album collection. So you have three classic albums. I think one of them is up for debate, but you have three early albums for sure: Into the Grave, You'll Never See, and Soulless. So yeah, it's a pretty cool box set. It comes with obviously cassette tapes, but also some postcards. So you got this one here with a band photo. You have two, in my case, uh, Into the Grave postcards, and I think this one only came with one, but somehow I ended up with two at some point. Here you got You'll Never See, the artwork from that one, and you got Soulless, so that is pretty cool. The important thing is, of course, the tapes themselves. So yeah, this one here, Grave, Into the Grave. Notice you got some green on the cover art, and the shell is green, so there's a cool color theme as well, which I appreciate. It's just a nice touch. Uh, this one has a very, very substantial J card, which I appreciate. It's very cool. So there you go, with a lot of text and stuff on it, so that's nice. So musically, Into the Grave is, in my opinion, kind of the blueprint, basically, for a fantastic HM2 death metal album of the old school. Uh, yeah, this crushing HM2 sound. You have like just old school, fast tempo death metal songs with those characteristic 90s death metal riffs and guttural vocals, and it's just a fantastic album. Definitely worth checking out if you're interested in like, old school death metal. The same thing goes for this one here, You'll Never See. And notice you have some red in the cover artwork. The cassette shell is also red, so again, nice touch. And again, we have a quite substantial J card, which is nice right there. And on the other side, you have that same band photo. So that's cool too. Nice. Yeah, very similar music. Old school, up tempo, uh, straightforward, no nonsense. HM2 death metal. I think most death metal fans will probably agree that these two are absolutely death metal classics. Um, Soulless, that one might be up for debate. But anyways, this is what it looks like. You have some brown in the artwork, and the shell is kind of brown too. So I guess we're still kind of, you know, I guess on theme, if you know what I mean. Again, a very substantial J card. And I think the J cards look good too. The visuals. Now, anyway, so this here, I've heard some people trash this one and say that it's garbage compared to the two other ones. They've definitely changed their style. They've slowed down. They have incorporated more groove. They've incorporated more like rock influences. So I guess it's kind of a death and roll-ish album. The sound is still HM2 death metal though. The guitar tone, that's still there. The vocals are not as harsh as on the two other albums, but you know what? I like this one just as much as the two other albums, I have to be honest. It's just different. But I never had a problem with groove in death metal, so maybe that's why I'm fine with Soulless as well. But overall, I think this is a very, very cool box set. I'm really glad I bought it. The tapes play very well. They sound very well, or sound very good, I should say. So this is definitely worth picking up if you're a fan of Grave or if you're a fan of just death metal and you have a cassette deck, um, or if you just want it and you want the tapes and you don't want to listen to them, that's none of my business. Uh, the next one is this one here, of course, The Theater of Tragedy, the early years, 94 to 98. You got 5 tapes on this one. And uh, it's a demo from 94, and then you got the self-titled, and then you have Velvet, Darkness They Fear, then A Rose for the Dead, and then Ages. So more tapes in this box set for sure. And you also have some kind of extra goodies in this one. You have some stickers here with the artwork from the 3 like proper albums in this box set. And you also have some postcards, the Ages artwork, the Velvet, Darkness They Fear artworks, basically the same artwork that's on the stickers, the self-titled. And then you have a photo of the band, and you have another photo of the band. So this one also came with a cool booklet with some pictures in it and some write-ups, some excerpts from some interviews and articles and stuff, and also some comments on, some of the songs by some of the band members. I think there are comments on all the songs from the 3 albums proper, but not the demo and not a Rose for the Dead. But it's a pretty cool booklet, and you know, it looks cool too. So the important part is, of course, the music and the tapes. So let's see if we can go through them in chronological order. Hopefully, we can do that. If not, it's not a problem. But yeah, so here we have like a nice handful of tapes. So yeah, if we go through them in chronological order, we have this one here first, the demo from 1994, and they're kind of doing the same thing, keeping the kind of cassette shell in the same color theme. Not that much tape on here, but it is a 90s demo tape. They typically only had like a couple of songs. Uh, a pretty decent J card. I don't know if it's a reproduction of the original J card from the original demo tape. I think the artwork here is awesome. It looks like it could be black metal or like doom metal or something like that. And I would say this is actually death doom. Um, with, Beauty and the Beast style vocals, like guttural male vocals and then clean female vocals. They invented the genre. And it's a genre I think is so cheesy, it's almost unbearable, but their take on it, they invented it. Actually, it's pretty cool. I actually think it's kind of genius, the way they went about it. This is great. This is Death Doom in the vein of early Paradise Lost, early Anathema. There's some My Dying Bride as well on here, on influences from My Dying Bride. This is a great Death Doom release. Although you only have like 3 or 4 songs on here, maybe the entire box set is perhaps worth picking up just because of this demo tape. If you like Death Doom, then you have the self-titled here, and yeah, you have some kind of golden-ish kind of yellow, and the shell is golden. So again, nice touch for sure. Um, Here we have more substantial J card than the demo tape, but still, go. And there are so many members in the band that they had to cram 2 of them into one picture. So this one here is kind of gothic, death, doom, somewhere, in between those genres. Um, Pretty cool guttural vocals, quite doomy songs for sure, but you definitely have those like more gothic, very melodic influences for sure. Um, the female vocals are very soft and gentle, um, but she sings in a kind of a very soft falsetto most of the time. So it's actually different, I think, from a lot of the run-of-the-mill Beauty and the Beast stuff that came out like in the wake of these guys' output. This I think is a great death doom gothic whatever album too. Definitely worth checking out if you like your kind of gothic metal. A little bit of epicness to this as well, which is definitely cool. And then of course there's this one here, Velvet Darkness They Fear, kind of an archetypical 90s death doom cover artwork. They've gone with a blue shell. There's actually, I don't see any blue on here. You got purple, so I guess they're neighboring colors, whatever. Um, Pretty cool J card too, for sure. This one here leans much, much more into the gothic side of things. You still have some doomy elements, but this is more like gothic metal. And there's somewhat of an influence from My Dying Bride, I would say, on this one, like the sort of the clean vocals, that side of My Dying Bride, but just much more gothic, and you have some again epic and symphonic elements. The male vocals are still guttural, but not as guttural as in the past. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good album too. Definitely enjoy it. The next one here, A Rose for the Dead. It's not a real album, as far as I understand. It's kind of like some leftover songs from, I think from this one here actually. Some leftover songs, some songs they didn't finish, and then they decided to finish them off and just put this thing here out. And you have some remixes too. And yeah, I guess the lettering is kind of great, and the shell is silver, so I guess it's okay. In terms of the color scheme. Um, You got a big J card, but not as much text on it. So that's definitely interesting. Now, I think this one here, I think this one is not great, if I'm being completely honest. Um, I mean, you have some kind of gothic rock songs on here, for sure. Um, but I mean, I guess there was a reason why they didn't really finish some of the songs and why some of them were not included on the albums and stuff. The remixes are absolutely terrible, in my opinion. They're kind of like industrial, uh, dark dance music versions of some of the songs on here. Two of the songs. Um, and I think they're terrible, if I'm being honest. I think the male vocals, are very weak on this one too. Very weak guttural vocals. And I mean, they start experimenting more and more with clean vocals, by the way, male clean vocals too. And I don't know, maybe this singer was more interested in that. And I don't know. It just sounds like it didn't put that much effort into the guttural vocals. This is one I will not listen to a whole lot. Um, the last one that's in here, Ages. Yeah, okay, you got some blue right here, and the shell is blue as well. So I think that's a little bit more, on point. And again, a pretty cool looking J card, but you can see it screams gothic metal. There you go. It screams 90s gothic metal at you. And that's basically what this is. It's gone are the death metal elements. Gone is the guttural male singing. There's a little bit towards the end, but that's it. He's going for like a kind of a baritone, clean style of singing. And it's okay. It works well, I think. The guitar tone is not super heavy, and you have a lot of parts that are clearly inspired by your uh, kind of yeah, new wave goth rock and well, death rock and all that that kind of stuff from the early 80s, basically. Uh, Very inspired by Believe in Nothing, I think, by Paradise Lost as well, which I think is a great album, actually. So I don't have a problem with that. And also a little bit of Draconian Times influence on this one. Um, but yeah, it's more gothic rock, gothic metal than anything else. The lady, yeah, she does the same kind of singing. I think her voice becomes better throughout the albums, whereas the guy's voice becomes worse, at least in the harsh vocals department. Of course, there's none of that on here, so that's not a problem. But I actually like this one a lot. I think this one is great. Although it's like softer and stuff, I think it's actually a freaking awesome album, I have to say. Um, After this, they kind of went into a more like electro industrial direction that doesn't really interest me. I mean, you saw kind of signs of things to come on the two remixes on Rose for the Dead, but this one I think is fantastic, and I do think this is an incredibly cool box set. Again, because you got this booklet with the write-ups and stuff, but it also kind of documents the evolution of a metal band who were active. I think they're still active, actually. I'm not sure. But they were like active in the 90s, where art rock and metal and stuff just got weird, and a lot of bands had a hard time navigating this scene and went in a lot of different directions. And these guys decided to go in a more and more kind of gothic direction away from the death doom stuff, for better or worse. Uh, but apart from A Rose for the Dead, I think it's excellent stuff that you have in this box set. And Rose for the Dead, despite the fact that I think it's kind of weak and, maybe it's leftover material, it's interesting. I mean, I'm not going to listen to it a whole lot, but it's interesting, right? At the very least. So I think this one is definitely worth picking up as well, especially if you like your 90s gothic, doomy metal. It's worth picking up for sure. So I would say both of these box sets are definitely worth it. And just very tasty packaging and all that stuff. So fantastic stuff. Just wanted to share uh, the contents of these box sets, and the tapes sound great. One of the tapes in the Theater of Tragedy box set does drag a little bit on my stationary cassette player, but I'm pretty sure if I play it on one of my We Are Rewind cassette players, there won't be any problem. It's just because my stationary cassette player is very, very sensitive. It picks up on all those details. Uh, but in any case, yeah, they're worth it for sure. Thanks for watching.